Welcome to my channel Aries, and I was shuffling your cards and I immediately felt a situation where there is still emotion between two people, but neither person is fully expressing what they are carrying inside. This doesn't feel like a casual connection. This feels like a connection that has history, a connection that has left questions unanswered, a connection where somebody walked away, pulled back, became inconsistent, or simply stopped giving you the clarity you deserved. And the interesting thing is, as I look at your cards, I don't see somebody who stopped caring. I see somebody who stopped communicating. There is a huge difference in here, friends. So let's dive into your energy and find out what is coming for you in the month of July in your love situation. I will be covering both the first half of July and the second half. These cards I have laid out for the first half of July, and these are for the second half of July. Aries, I strongly feel that many of you are trying to convince yourself that you are over this person. You tell yourself you are moving on. You tell yourself you are focusing on yourself. You tell yourself you are not thinking about them anymore. But then something reminds you of them. A song, a place, a memory. And suddenly all those emotions come rushing back to you. Because the truth is, you may have physically created distance from this connection, but emotionally, there are still things that were left unsaid. Some of you are wondering if this person ever genuinely loved you. Some of you are wondering whether the connection meant as much to them as it did to you. And that's where the King of Cups energy becomes fascinating. Because when I look at this card, I don't see someone who lacks feelings. I see someone who has feelings but struggled with vulnerability. Okay? This person appears calm from outside, collected, controlled. But underneath that surface, there are emotions they haven't fully processed. It almost like they have become their own emotional prison. Instead of expressing what they feel, they analyze it. Instead of opening up, they suppress it. And instead of taking emotional risks, they stay silent. And Aries, I kept hearing this person's energy saying to me that I don't know how to fix it. Not because they don't care, but because they don't know how to approach you after everything that has happened. For some of you, this person is watching you from a distance, checking your social media, asking mutual friends about you, wondering how you are doing, trying to understand whether you have completely moved on. But the irony is, while you have been wondering whether they care, they have been wondering whether they still have a place in your life. Now, let's talk about where things currently stand, okay? Because the Page of Pentacles tells me there is movement. What I find interesting is that this person seems to be moving from a place of observation into a place of action. For a long time, they have been sitting with their thoughts, replaying conversations, replaying mistakes, replaying the moment everything changed between you two. But now I feel them reaching a point where thinking is no longer enough. They are beginning to realize that if they want a different outcome this time, they have to actually do something. Now, for some Aries, this could literally be communication. A text, a phone call, a message, even a social media interaction, most probably. This person could start finding ways to enter your energy again. They might like something online, maybe your picture, or maybe reacting to a story that you posted, and even finding excuses to check in. Because what I feel very strongly is hesitation. This person is not confident. All right. They don't know how you will react. They don't know whether you will welcome them or shut the door completely. And honestly, they are scared because they know you have changed. The version of Aries they once knew isn't the same Aries standing here today. You have learned your worth. You have become less willing to tolerate the emotional inconsistency, and they can feel that shit. Now, friends, this is the card that explains why everything feels so complicated. Because this connection has wounded you deeply. I don't feel a minor disagreement here, I feel betrayal, disappointment, abandonment, or perhaps simply watching someone choose fear over love. And for many of you, the pain wasn't just what happened. The pain was realizing how much you invested. You gave your heart, you gave your time, you gave your trust. You believed in what this connection could become. And when things fell apart, it felt like you lost more than this relationship. You lost a future you had imagined. You lost the version of life you thought you were building together. And I think what hurt most was the silence, the lack of answers, the lack of accountability, the feeling that you were left alone to carry the emotional consequences of something two people created. But Aries, with the Ten of Swords appearing here, Spirit is showing me something important. The pain has reached its peak. This card doesn't show ongoing suffering, friends. It shows suffering that has nowhere left to go. The cycle is ending. The wound is finally beginning to close. You may not realize it yet, but you are becoming emotionally detached from the story that once consumed you. And that's exactly why things begin to change for you. In the second half of July, we have a different outcome, my friends. It's very much visible with these cards. The energy completely shifts here. It's almost like the universe grabs the wheel and says, we are not staying stuck anymore. Because what I see happening in the second half of July is movement that neither you nor this person can fully control. Divine timing starts taking over. Unexpected conversations, unexpected realizations, unexpected opportunities. Things that haven't felt frozen begin moving again. And friends, I keep feeling that you are no longer chasing. You are no longer begging for clarity. You are no longer focusing outcomes. And strangely enough, that's exactly when things begin happening. Because your energy has changed. You are no longer operating from desperation. You are operating from self-respect. This card gives me chills, friends, because many of you have spent months feeling like life wasn't fair. You loved honestly, you showed up honestly, and yet somehow you ended up carrying the pain. Justice is showing me karma balancing the scales, friends. And before anybody panics when they hear karma, this isn't punishment. This is the truth. This is accountability. This is reality finally catching up with everyone involved. And somebody have hurt you, they're gonna no longer avoid what they did. If somebody failed to appreciate you, they begin seeing your value now. If somebody walked away thinking you would always be there, they begin realizing what your absence feels like. I feel many Aries finally receiving validation, not because someone tells you you are valuable, but because their action finally confirm what you have known all along. Then we arrive at the outcome energy, friends, the Hierophant. This card tells me that whatever is entering your life next is meant to be more stable than what you have experienced before. For many Aries, this absolutely looks like reconciliation, but not reconciliation based on chemistry alone. Reconciliation based on maturity, growth, accountability, and genuine commitment. For others, this is a completely new person entering after you have finally realized and released the pain from the past. Someone emotionally available, someone who doesn't leave you guessing, someone who understands that consistency is a love language. The biggest message I'm hearing here is that July changes your relationship with love itself. Because you are no longer settling for potential. You are no longer falling in love with promises. You are choosing actions, friends. Aries, this reading feels like the story of somebody who experienced heartbreak, survived it, learned from it, and now entering a period where the universe begins restoring what was lost. The first half of July asks you to acknowledge the pain, friends. The second half of July rewards you for everything you have learned from it. And if there is one thing I would tell you from these cards, it's this, okay? The person who broke your heart is no longer the main character in your story. And once you realize that, everything starts changing. This is all I got for you, my Aries, for July. And I will catch you up next time, next month. Okay, take care. Bye bye.